Howdy, everybody.
Hello.
That's Patrick with Light Source Engraving.
And that is Steve, the hobo with wood.
And you all know Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy.
And we are the Laser Makers Realm. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. Glad to see you all here. I see we got a bunch of people here already. We've got Harry, I think it is, from Army Dogs Creations, Chicago Bob. We've got Tim. We've got, who else is here? Bob from Poland. Wow, good evening, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
In Poland.
Very cool.
vrich 3733. Who else we got here?
Carl, did you mention Carl?
Andreas, haven't gotten to him yet.
Oh, okay.
We got Carl.
Yeah. Carl, he's bragging about being sunny.
Yeah, well, he's in Florida. We've got the Oily Crafter, and I'm glad everybody's here today. Today we're doing a wonderful project, and if you guys didn't see the picture in the thumbnail, which I'm sure you have, I'm going to start by showing you my desktop version of what we've done. And this is a file that we got online in collaboration with a website that we're going to share with all of y'all at the end of the stream. And this is my desktop version of We the People. And in here, this is all done in glitter paint. I know you can't really see it too well, but it's got a map of the United States. It's on a stand, and none of this was glued together. This was all put together while it was wet paint. So works really well that way for me anyway. The only part that is glued is the stand itself. So that is my version of it. And then we've got a couple other versions. Steve, let's see your version of it.
My version of that same file?
Yes. And there is Steve's version of it. And Patrick, are you still working on yours? No, Patrick's got his version done. Let's take a look at his.
Well, I have 3 versions.
Yeah. There you go.
That was your first one, right?
Yeah.
And
that was the very first one, yeah.
And I really like that. I didn't think that I would, but I really like that yellow on the green.
Yeah.
Then
no,
my
it came out
second
nice.
Version is 22 inches
Oh, I got you beat.
wide. So there's 22 inches. And then I have a version that I actually did before I did the wood version, which is an acrylic version.
So that's, yeah.
An acrylic version.
Oh, that looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, I like that. Now, is that 3D too? Or carved, I should say?
Well, I engraved it in 4 different layers, so it actually has 4 different depths to it.
Yeah.
But it's one piece of acrylic.
Yeah, 1 piece of acrylic.
Yeah. I like that.
1/4 inch.
And that's done with the fiber?
No, engraved and cut on a CO2 galvo.
Okay, the CO2 galvo. Now I'm completely, and we may get off topic, but the CO2 monport that I've got in the galvo, I can't do that same type of 3D layered carving.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I really like the ability you get with the fiber in that galvo.
If you're doing it with vectors, you'd just run multiple passes over those areas to vary the depth.
Yeah, multiple layers.
So with a vector you could. Yeah.
How big was your biggest one? 20 something?
22.
31 and a half, baby.
And you've already got it done.
31 and a half.
This one, that last piece just came off the laser about 15 minutes ago.
Well, I'm going to show you something that people are not going to maybe not think about. Maybe it's only me. I don't know.
You fit that whole thing on your CO2, 31 inches?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this one I did on cardboard. Now this is just an Amazon box that I cut up. And let me show you, I have to show you a picture of it because it's back there on my whiteboard. Actually, let me show it to you this way. So there it is on the whiteboard. And I can also show you in a different way. So let me show you this way, and there you can see it. That is cardboard. So there's multiple different ways that you can do this on multiple different materials and get a great result. But I will tell you that this is not an easy file, folks. So it doesn't look like it's a hard file, but these are all cuts. They're all cutouts, and we're talking about maybe 2 millimeters of cutout all the way around the edge. Yeah,
There you
show
go.
them, Patrick. Hang on one second. Let me get you over there. There
This
you
is
go.
the 22-inch version, and you can see how
Show them how it
thin.
bends. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah, the big.
So when you're trying to do that to the one that's scaled down to 12 inches wide, it's a little tedious.
Well,
Yeah.
what about my desktop version that's 7 inches wide?
Oh,
Yeah. No, I wouldn't even attempt it at 7 inches.
Now, I'll also say that if you don't have a precision laser, and if you're not good at focusing with a honeycomb bed and air assist, you're not going to want to try this one at home, folks. There are a lot of little intricate cuts, the trees, the outlines, all these different things. We're going to give you the website address and the coupon code that we got from the designer so that you can get this file for free toward the end of the stream. But I'm going to tell you right now that this is more of an advanced project. So
The bigger you make it, the easier it gets.
the bigger, the easier. Yeah, you're probably not going to want to do a desktop version. The only reason that I attempted the desktop version is because I have the Roly back there, and it's precision all the way across. If you have a perfectly flat workbench and you have a perfectly flat honeycomb bed, and you have perfect or close to perfect wood, and you're good at focusing, you can do this project at any size, from the desktop size like I have here, which is 7 inches wide, all the way up to whatever size you've got. And this is more of a project for a CO2 laser, just because of those reasons that I just stated with the diode lasers. The Roly has precision standoffs for the honeycomb bed. The honeycomb bed's perfectly flat. I know that the cut is going to be the same in every area of the wood. And I can tell you that if you don't have a precision laser, you're probably going to have problems with this file, but it's still worth a go. And you're going to want to use the entire workbed, whatever you've got. So if you've got a 400 by 400, you might want to turn it at an angle and make it as big as you can to reach that whole workbed where the wings go all the way out to the corners, to make it a little more. I think you can get up to like 19 inches or something like that. But this is really a file for a CO2, 60 and up, 60 watts and up with the larger workbed. Now, I did do it on the cardboard like this right here. This was on the G-Wick, and that was the biggest I could go. The G-Wick has a 20-inch workbed, 20 inches wide. So that was the biggest that I could get on there.
And
I would say if you're wanting to improve your skills, definitely make it a goal to complete this project successfully.
Yeah,
this is definitely a skill builder, and
absolutely,
don't be discouraged. Try it and improve from it.
Absolutely,
especially since it's a free file. The
Yes.
only thing you're going to waste is a lot of material.
Yeah.
So when you look at that one, look how tiny the cuts are on the bottoms of the E's.
Yes.
And the trees.
Yep. And the trees. So don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Fine tune your laser and work until you can get it. And like Rich just showed, practice on cardboard.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed in our comments, we've got a lot of people, like Terry's here from New Zealand, and we've got, Poland and a few others. They're probably not going to be so anxious about this particular file since it's Constitution, we the people, United States, unless you're an American citizen in New Zealand. But I will be, and when we start talking about what we've been doing this week, I'll be giving away a file for free that you might find interest in, even if you're not in the States. So hang around if this don't appeal to you, because there's still stuff coming that you will find hopefully appealing. And the reason to hang around.
It's even worth checking out and downloading, whether they like the design of the file or not, just for the file to practice with and to learn from. Yeah,
exactly. And welcome, Norma. Norma is a newbie. Hi, Mario. And let's see, somebody was just asking about a honeycomb bed. Where did I see that? Right here. So what honeycomb bed do you recommend for, okay. Well, if your honeycomb bed is a little concave, you can try and fix that by putting some pressure on it. Put down some coasters on each corner and trying to fix it with some pressure, because the honeycomb bed is based on the rods that support it, that run through it. But if you're talking about a diode laser, Ortur makes a nice one. Their new version of their honeycomb bed is nice, and it has alignment guides and everything else. That's the one that I would probably recommend. But I really try and say stick to a metal honeycomb so you can use magnets. That's the only thing I don't like about the G-Wick, is that it came with an aluminum honeycomb bed, and so I had to make honeycomb pins to hold things down. And sometimes, like when I did this cardboard, I didn't think about it. I cut it out to 20 by 12, which is the work size of the bed, and then realized that cardboard is never going to be flat, and I couldn't put the honeycomb pins in on it. So, stick to a metal one where you definitely you can use magnets. T-Man's Woodshed, welcome aboard. Late to my first live show. You're not late. We're just getting started. Hello to David, and hello Tom. Tom saying somebody mentioned that the Roly. Carl mentioned that the Roly is on sale for $9.99. Has a $100 coupon. I announced that on a couple of my social medias the other day when it came back in stock, and they sold out within a couple hours again. So that Leo is telling me that in May, the first week of May, they should be all in stock on Amazon for $9.99, and I think he's going to keep doing that $100 off coupon. And trust me, folks, you can't get a better deal.
I can't believe it's that inexpensive. And is that at that price? Is that complete with the enclosure, the rotary,
everything? Everything.
I'm jealous. I hate I spent more money than that on an inferior product.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's that cheap.
Yeah, you buy a base model of something else and add all the same accessories, you're well over $9.99.
Yeah.
Well, I was pushing $1,300 on my first laser, and I refuse to even mention its name. I hate it so much.
Bob is asking what my thoughts are on the omtech Polar. The omtech Polar is made by G-Wick. It's the same as the G-Wick 50 Pro Cloud. So I don't know. I think they rebranded the cloud software, so it should be the same. I am not a fan of cloud software. Never have been. It reminds me of that big brand that I hate so much that you can only use when you're on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the name, but I can tell you that I've enjoyed using the cloud software that came with the G-Wick. So I'm going to say that the omtech Polar, I believe, uses the same software. It's just a rebranded version. And I know it's the same machine, so I'm a big fan of it. And it was easy enough to connect Lightburn to it. And they give you a special adapter for the Lightburn camera if you want to convert their camera into the Lightburn camera. So yeah, big fan of that. And for the price, I think it's probably the best desktop laser on the market.
And are you able to use obviously you are, because the G-Wick, you can use Lightburn, so you can.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. When I did this cardboard cutout of the Eagle, I used the G-Wick and I used Lightburn with it.
So you're not forced just to be cloud. Yeah.
No, you're not forced to use the cloud with the G-Wick or the omtech Polar. If it were me, I would buy the G-Wick because I would prefer to buy from the manufacturer rather than a third party, omtech, because I know that, well, one thing for certain, because I've done it at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got online, went on their website, asked a question, and 30 seconds later I had an answer. So they have 24/7 tech support on their website. So I would definitely go with the G-Wick over the omtech, but they're pretty much the same machine. Jack in the shop is here. Hey Jack, how you doing?
Hey,
Hi,
Redneck.
Norma. Norma says, since you're talking about Lightburn, just setting up my Xtool D1 Pro. I'm sorry about that. Do I need to use Lightburn or can I learn on Creative Space? Yes, you can use Creative Space software. It's definitely not my choice, and it's not most people's choice that have an Xtool.
Norma, my suggestion is jump in with both feet on Lightburn. Do not be intimidated by that software. If you've ever used,
You're going to move there anyway.
Yeah, because the ability to create is unlimited in Lightburn, relatively speaking, to these software programs that have you locked into you. If you're a creative person and you want to do your own designs,
Yeah.
But if you're not there and you don't want to get into that, and all you want to do is just grab files, and I don't know on Creative Space if they charge you for a lot of their downloads or not, but I started my laser adventures in June last year. I haven't been doing this quite a year yet. No experience with lasers, zero experience with word processing programs and or Lightburn, nothing.
And you could tell.
Love you too, buddy.
Back then, you could tell.
Back then, yeah. I had no. If you go back and watch some of my early videos when I had short hair and started, I was struggling, but I did not let it intimidate me. I was convinced that I was going. And whenever you search around and you look for different laser software programs, and people have commented in some of my videos like, well, this would be so much easier with this program or this program. Well, to do that one particular job, it might be easier, but I'm not handicapped with Lightburn.
Not with Lightburn.
Not with Lightburn. I'm not. What there might.
He does have a handicap sticker in his truck, though.
But that's a physical issue and a mental issue. But don't be intimidated by Lightburn, and watch. My foundation is built on watching Rich. He used, what was it? Your Lightburn 101, Rich?
What's that?
Lightburn 101?
No, I think you. Lightburn 101 is a design video. I think you we first contacted each other after you watched my video about the F1 video about reading the manual. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's another biggie. But don't be intimidated by it. It isn't not. And the greatest thing about Lightburn is my favorite, the undo button.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I started with Lightburn immediately. I was learning it before I had my first Ortur diode, and I started out watching Rich's videos. It was shortly after he had started his channels, and I've been watching his videos since.
Thank you.
Just put some time in and watch Rich's videos, watch Steve's videos. You're going to learn a ton. I've got some, but mine tend to be a little more advanced. So start with theirs.
But I do want to say that start with Lightburn, because you're going to eventually move to it anyway. And going through the learning curve of two pieces of software is it's hard to get through the learning curve of one piece of software. So why not just stick to getting through the learning curve of Lightburn, and you'll have so much more time producing quality products than you will by using Creative Space. Remember that Creative Space is just a program that Xtool created because originally, I forget what the name of the original program was, but they created it originally because they wanted to have a proprietary laser that only used their software. And then the entire laser community barked at it and said, no, we want to use Lightburn. They were forced to add Lightburn support to their software initially. And that was because of demand.
Yeah, I've got an issue with the laser manufacturers that have these desktop CO2s out there or anything out there where it's cloud based. They have projects for you, but
Yep.
not only will they have the project for you, but they'll sell you. Let's
Yeah,
engrave.
they'll sell you things.
Yeah, this is what you need to do this project.
Right.
And you need this to buy this project. So they're not so much even in the laser business as they are in they want to sell you materials.
Mhm.
Sell you,
Right. So
and
Your
Chris has
laser
got this
only
right.
works with the size of wood that we sell.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
The only place you can get it is from us.
Exactly.
It's specially made, special prepared, special binders, blah blah blah.
And the cloud
And
being
they
cloud-
all have special supplies. And Chris got it right when he made that comment in there. It is the industry standard now. Lightburn is the industry standard, and not only for lasers, but coming, I think, maybe this October at the Lightburn convention, it's going to be the industry. It's going to turn into the industry standard for lasers and CNCs, and there's going to be a lot more support for other things too, like Cricut and other different programs, and maybe even 3D
Let me
printing.
change hats for a second.
So yeah, it's definitely the industry standard. Thank you, Penny. Penny's saying that she loves to watch my videos. I explain stuff well. Just so that everybody knows, what my videos are me doing things. So I'll do a project and I'll do a video on that project, and that's pretty much all it is. You're just watching me do a project. That's it. And Norma's got it right too with the upsell, upsell, upsell. If you look at Xtool, Xtool is a pure marketing company. That's what they do. They market. They have their own materials. If you want, you can either spend, 89 cents on this piece of Baltic birch plywood, or you can buy it for the size of the work area for your particular laser from Xtool for, $3. So that's completely up to you.
And I don't know with the other softwares that are out there, but the other great thing that I personally is one of my favorites about Lightburn is the cost.
Exactly.
There's no,
and you don't have to buy the upgrades. You can
No.
stick with the version you've got forever.
no
Hey, think
subscription.
about fiber
But-
lasers. I mean, everybody was begging for Lightburn, and then finally it goes into beta. And then after 6 months of being in beta testing, I was a beta tester, so it was about 6 months. As soon as it came out in July, it was just like, boom, instant industry standard.
Yeah.
The day it was released on July 1st, it's just,
Yeah.
And now if you're not losing Lightburn, you're missing out.
October 29th should be what you're waiting for, Tim. Sorry,
Tim,
Patrick.
you and me both waiting on that one.
Yeah.
But next, beyond the no subscription and no cost for upgrades and all that, it's not cloud based. So if your internet goes down, you're not down. You can keep working.
Exactly.
And if their server goes down, you're not at their mercy. So Lightburn, do it.
So I don't know, Laura, if anybody designs SVGs with an Android app, but maybe
I've looked,
somebody can
it's
leave a
in-
comment.
I've looked and looked, and I cannot find anything
Yeah,
that really
I don't think
where you can
I've
design
ever-
them.
Yeah. Yep. So we are not intimidated by upsell. We are good there for sure.
You brought up a point about your videos that you do a project and you film how you do it.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to transition more to, I got jobs coming in and I do all this stuff and I might snap some pictures, but I'm thinking I'm going to try to start filming things, and even might not be a polished how-to video. I think I'm going to start going through the steps and trying to publish that kind of stuff more. So my question is to the audience in chat, would you guys like to see more stuff like that for me, where I just go through everything I do, CO2 galvo, fiber, everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
vote
I
is
think
yeah.
it would,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it would, because not everything I do is advanced. And
Yeah.
sometimes I have to go back and rewatch Steve's video or Rich's video on a
Yeah.
particular subject just to refresh my memory.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's what I enjoy watching, Patrick. And because I don't have those tools, so seeing all the specs and details doesn't
Yeah.
really help me any. But I sure do enjoy watching you make it.
exactly.
So
Okay, so where do I find the wood for 89 cents? I put links under my videos to Amazon products. You can get like BB Baltic birch. I usually only use A or AA, but you can get the BB Baltic birch for I think it's 85 cents a piece. It's
Ed,
much more than just
which hat should
watching
I wear? I just want to know which hat Ed wants me to wear. I'll
the
try to
black
wear that one.
And David says that he had to rewatch the last one twice because I didn't start out with, "Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy." I don't know if I'm going to keep that in there anymore, just because it just disturbs me because I have to rewatch a lot of them when people ask me questions. Since I got my CNC, I've been hanging out for Lightburn. Yep, it's coming October. I think. I'm pretty sure.
I've got a CNC in the other room that I was excited about, and for all the same reason we were talking about with Lightburn, I've struggled with all of the different proprietary softwares that were out there with the CNCs, and then the ones that I really want, they're just too damn expensive. I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I'm super excited because I've had a machine sitting in there for 3 months and it's covered in dust,
yeah.
and not from use, from sitting.
That we're not gonna have an answer to this question until October. So come on up to the Peoria, Illinois, and attend the conference. I'll be there. I know Steve will be there. Patrick, are you going?
Yes,
So all three of us will be there, and
because we're
come
doing the
up and see us.
table.
Visit with come visit for a while. We're probably going to have a table with products there too if you want to buy
Yeah.
some of our stuff.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, Carl loves to watch me make mistakes. Well, my videos are loaded with them. But you know what?
Well,
I think
I
there's
would
more
consider doing
learning in the mistakes.
I would consider doing a live stream, but I don't want it to get, I guess, shadow banned or hidden because of my cursing whenever I screw stuff up. Because I try to keep my videos PG.
Yeah. So, Robert, yes. When you switch from one origin to another, the graphics on your screen are going to flip. They might flip and they might mirror. So if your origin is the bottom left and you switch to a laser where the origin is the top left, then they're going to flip upside down. If your origin is the bottom left and you switch to a CO2 where the origin is top right, then it's going to flip and it's going to mirror. It's going to do both.
Yeah.
So yeah, all you have to do is press the control and the letter A to select all, or just drag over everything. And up at the top of Lightburn, you'll see mirror and flip, and you can mirror and flip them, and that'll fix that problem.
And if it's not mirrored, just hitting the comma key and rotate it twice.
Yeah. Was the 10-watt library that you made a few weeks ago done on the Roly? Yes, it was. Yeah, and that one is available in my online store, engraveandcutfiles.com. So you can buy that in my online store. It's going to get free updates until the end of the year. In fact, I'm updating it right now as we go. I've just added a couple of new wood products, and I've added some photograph settings and things like that. Is it going to need it? No, no. It's going to be compatible with the EasyCAD. Anything that's EasyCAD 2, I believe. Oh no, wait, for CNC. Oh, I don't know what it's going to be compatible for CNC. So I'm sure it's going to be widely compatible, though, Ed. And I don't know, but they've been hinting around to 3D printers. So now I don't think that that's going to be the October announcement. But October, I think, is just going to be CNC. I don't know for sure, but it would be nice, like Carl says, it would be nice to use the Lightburn for everything. I would really look forward to that.
See, speaking of a bloopers segment, I've always wanted to do a podcast, or not a podcast. You need video. So just, like this, a live stream hangout, where people submit their screwed up projects and then we roast them. just roast the bad work. I would submit my screwed up stuff any day just to hear what people had to say. It would be hilarious.
And Tom mentioned we should have a blooper segment. Well, these live streams are only 90 minutes, man.
Yeah. Well, then Chad is saying that it's not always about the content, but the little tips and tricks along the way. Yeah, so that's what it's all about for me. I don't know when I start a video what exactly I'm going to be doing. And when you see my mistakes in the way that I fixed them, you usually wind up with tips and tricks all throughout the video. That's why I tell people, don't hit that right arrow key. Watch the entire video. And same thing with Steve's, because Steve does the same thing. He makes a lot of mistakes as well, but then goes back and correct, just like me, goes back and corrects them. And that's why I don't have a bloopers video, because you're seeing them live.
Well, and it surprises me to look at the comments and how many times people will say, man, I never knew you could do that. And they're talking about things that I just did in the video, and it had nothing to do with the project. It's like it was a tool that I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that feature zoomed to that. I didn't know you could do this or that.
Yeah.
So when you jump around, you miss out on a lot.
Yes, that the 10-watt library that I made, I spent a couple of $100 hours making it. That did go to Leo already. If you buy the Roly LaserMATIC, you'll get that from him. It's going to be on the USB stick if you buy the Roly after May, I believe it is. Or actually, I think right now, because they just sold out their last batch. So it should be on the USB stick when you get it. And upgrades, you're going to be able to get from Leo. So this 10-watt library is going to be upgraded all throughout the end of the year. I have a bunch of more wood to add to it, as if it didn't have enough to begin with. I have a bunch of new American woods. I have exotic woods, and all of that's being added little by little as I do projects daily on the machine behind me here. And you will be able to get that from Leo, and you'll be able to get the final upgrade at the end of the year, which will have everything in it. Can you use the YRC rotary with the Roly? Yeah, I'm guessing that you can. I haven't tried it yet, but I guess I would have to check the pinout and see if the pinout is the same. But the YRC comes with 2 different adapters, so I'm sure that one of the 3 is going to match the Roly, and you can probably use it with that. Leo is working on a rotary specifically for the LaserMATIC, and I'm guessing that it's going to be a good one. Change to my object where I cannot change the orientation. It looks like it ungroups it. If I change anything in it, it becomes unstable. Maybe the wrong format for such a long question. Yeah, sometimes, usually only toolpaths do that. So if you have toolpaths in there, then they will not flip and mirror when you change lasers.
And this is talking about going back and forth from 2 different lasers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, and because being that I've got the diode here and then the CO2 there, and I'll have 2 versions of Lightburn open, and yes, if I try to just switch lasers, and I'm using that I've got Lightburn open, and I go from Z1 to the comgrow, to the monport, then it flips everything around. Yep. But if I switch my laser first, then open the file, I don't have that issue.
I've never. I've always had that issue with. Oh yeah. If you open the file after you. Yes, that's right. If you open the file after you switch lasers.
So Robert, if this is something you're doing, if you've got the file open and then you change your laser, you're gonna have issues. So
just close Lightburn.
Or just close. Or I don't even close Lightburn.
I mean, close the file.
Close the file. Yeah. Switch your laser, then open your file, and it's not a problem. Not for me.
Okay, so Bob, yes, it is definitely worth the upgrade to 1.4. I have a 1.4 video coming out. It should be out either Monday or Tuesday. There are some really nice things in there, including opening a new window of Lightburn, which some people can't do because it tries to force them back to the window of Lightburn. So now they've even got that built into the system where you can open a new window of Lightburn right from the file menu. And there are some really cool things I'm not going to mention now. I've been dying to talk about them because I've had 1.4 for a long time now in the beta version, and I can't wait to talk about them. And I'm sure Patrick is very excited about some of the stuff too, because there's a lot of Galvo improvements in version 1.4 as well.
Yep.
So, but we're going to keep that a secret until I do that video on Monday or Tuesday. And Carl says he loves all the mistakes. I think that's what my videos are really based on, is, and so is Steve's, is based on the mistakes. So we're actually we're not teaching, we're showing you how we're learning
And
as
what
we go.
not to do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully watching our videos will teach you what not to do. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll never claim to be an expert. I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
Learning doing this live stream, talking to these guys, or reading your comments. I'm always learning. I'm
Yeah.
not an expert.
Well, I don't believe that anybody is an expert at anything. I think it was, well, I don't even remember the quote, but Einstein had a quote about that, where if you were an expert, then you couldn't be his friend. But by the way, folks, way down at the bottom of the screen, if you could share this on your social media right now, I should have said this earlier, it's already 1:30. That would be great, because get the word out. We're about to get monetized on the channel, and that would be fun, where people can actually make donations. And also, by the way, we do have a PayPal account for Steve and Patrick for supplies, and that is paypal.me/LMR donations. I'm going to leave that scrolling across the bottom of the screen for right now. If you'd like to make a donation to the channel, for all the things that we bring you and all of the supplies that we need to make these videos. So if you consider that, we'd really appreciate it. It's paypal.me/LMR donations. Let me just get that out of the way real quick. And I'm going to also get started over on the Roly. Let me switch cameras here. I'm going to get started on my cutout of this file, so you can see how it comes out really small on a 10-watt laser. So I'm going to go get started on that right now.
Well, Steve, I'll let you take over comments, because I'm going to go get started on my Eagle on the CO2.
Okie dokie. Well, let's see if I can see where we left off there. And guys, I'm not nearly as knowledgeable on some of the technical stuff as Rich is, but we'll holler at him and get him away from the Roly as we need him. Let's see here. Where were we? Leo. They kind of dropped me in the middle of this, folks. All right. Does anyone have a review on the omtech desktop laser engraver, 50 watt? Thomas, what I've seen and learned a little bit since having got my monport, and this is was shocking to me. I'm reading my monport manual, and it tells me, in order to learn how to do the maintenance and the upkeep, to go to YouTube and watch the omtech YouTube videos. So the omtech and the monport are kind of like Hyundai and Kia. They're the same laser, from what
I think he's talking about the 50 watt, the omtech Polar. So I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about, is the omtech Polar.
Well, yeah, but he's asking about a review. So if
there are quite a few reviews on YouTube of the omtech Polar, and you can also look at the GWIC 50 Cloud reviews, because they're the same machine.
That's what I was leading to. Is what's the equivalent? Is there omtech have the Polar, you said the GWIC, so there's more than, it's the same laser out there on different names. You might find different reviews and get different feedback that's not necessarily backed by a manufacturer. Let's see here. Oh, congratulations, Army Dogs, and I'm glad to see that you're doing better. Oh, COVID is a mess.
See, I'm using the NOAA Laser 60 watt CO2. And I've removed my honeycomb and put the knife blades down. Now, I wish knife blades were metal so that I could use magnets to keep this plywood straight, but so far, coming out of the box, it's been fairly straight.
T-Man here. Steve tried your tip on how to home without homing switches. Got an error message to the effect that homing is not enabled. So I don't know who else is touching controllers here or comments.
Me.
Okay.
You're done with that one. Go ahead and answer it.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what your problem is, but to recap, my first laser did not have limit switches. So in Lightburn, I would set my return to finished position, and that would be my home position. So I would actually put a test cut on a piece of scrap wood, do my test cut, and then it would return to that position. So then, now that it's there, be it set it at a return position at 1010 or wherever I wanted it to be out of the way of the project, I could, since it goes there, and I could resend that project out multiple times and duplicate.
Okay, hey, let me pause you for a minute. So the way to do this is to go over to the Move tab and don't turn on your laser. Move the laser to the 00 position, the home position by hand if you don't have limit switches. Then turn on your laser. Then go to the Move tab, and on the Move tab you want to create a new position there called 00 or home. And then you just want to go to the pull down menu on the Move tab and select that whenever you need the laser to go to the 00 position. You cannot use the home button on a laser that has doesn't have limit switches. So, but you can set a position of 00, and you can go to that position anytime you want to pretend like you're homing the laser. I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, that made sense to me.
Okay, let's see. Is there any other way to support? Had a very bad experience with PayPal. Go ahead, Steve.
There is a Zelle option if you like Zelle. Right now, you can find hobowithwood@gmail.com on Zelle. That will get funds to me, and I'll get it to the channel. So,
now keep in mind too that PayPal, you do not need to log into an account. If you go to the link, you can make a one-time donation with a credit card or a debit card, and you don't have to log in or anything else. So you know, that is an option even if you don't have an account with PayPal.
but he said he'd had a bad experience with PayPal, so he
Yeah.
doesn't use PayPal.
Yeah, I understand. But tell them about your Zelle.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
So yeah, you can use Zelle. Give them the address again, or the name.
Hobowithwood@gmail.com.
There you go.
Let me type that in.
My Aufero 2 does not have switches. It should. Mine does.
Can you hear my air compressor running in the background? I moved it since the last live stream.
No, it sounds good.
Good.
There we go. So if you have a Zelle account, there it is right there. I didn't mean to step on you there, Steve, on the limit switches, but I think you misunderstood the question. So we are doing the cutouts right now, diode and CO2. I have just finished my first layer. Let me grab that real quick. And actually, I'm not going to grab it. I'm going to leave this on the laser because I'm going to also do the next layer on the same piece of wood. So let me just get this back in the corner and close it. So here is my my first layer, as you can see. Got that off the laser. I'm going to keep that same piece of wood on there. and go back to Lightburn. And I should have done this already. I'm just going to move the first layer off and bring in the second layer.
And I'm having technical difficulties with my laser this week, folks. That's the reason I'm not running a job. And his Roly spanks my diode, and no sense in watching two diodes do the same job.
And tell them what your technical issues were, Steve, because that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, if you didn't live it, it was a good story. I started this project and made my first couple of cuts without an issue. But then when I started trying to do those really fine detail cuts, I was just burning up wood and couldn't figure out why. And I was thinking, was it a focus problem? Was it a material problem? And I never did understand what was going on. And I'm going to show you an image here of I tried. I thought, well, maybe if it was the Baltic that I was using, I decided to switch over to material that I don't like working with, which was MDF. But I said, well, maybe I'll try a different material. And I started out initially, where is the camera? Getting really good cuts with the stars, really nice and clean. It was almost cutting through, but then it would get really distorted. And I'm like, well, is the material warped? Is it out of focus? The bed. Turns out the air supply the air pump was failing. So I was having great cuts when the air was working, but then it would stop working and get really burning up material. I went through so much material trying to cut this project out because of the failing air pump. And didn't discover that was the problem until 2 days into it. Because I've never, and Rich makes fun of me about my first laser. I blew it up within a matter of 4 months. Never heard of anybody having a diode that failed that quick, but mine did. And I've looked and looked and looked on the maintenance on these CO2s. And has anybody else had to take their air pumps physically, completely disassemble the air pump and clean out the internal guts? And is that a regular every month routine for you? But I finally no, you wouldn't think, but the intake for the air pump down here on the bottom on the monport's got a small little cap on it, and that cap, even though it's on the bottom, was sucking in very small matter, and that cap got clogged. So that was causing the pump to overheat, and then it was shutting down and working.
Yep. Yeah, that was a big problem for Steve.
I'd asked him if he had accidentally flipped the switch and put it in vacuum mode. And I think they thought I was serious at first. And then I said, because it sounds like it did, because this pump sucks.
Yeah.
So I was throwing some humor at his problem.
Yeah, and I was not in a very humorous way this week. Still a little ill from it. Let's see here. I'm going through the comments, see what's going on. Carl, do you use a moisture separator on the air pump output?
I do on my compressor.
I do on my compressor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just the built-in air pump that's on the monport, and there's no moisture separator there. I blew up my first 2 3D printers in a week. First one was in a week, and I bought a replacement and did it again. That'd have to be a little bit frustrating and expensive.
So there we go. Patrick's got his first layer cut.
So Patrick, you don't use the honeycomb.
He's using a knife bed.
I typically do, but I was cutting acrylic, and I just left the knife bed there and didn't mess with the honeycomb.
And the knife bed might tend to be a little more level than just using the honeycomb.
It definitely is.
The Cloudline T6 should be a pretty good unit, but I believe they do have the AC Infinity does have a larger one though. The one that came with the G-Wick is absolutely fantastic. I don't know, it's OEM branded, so I can't tell you what it is, but the G-Wick has the fan in the back, and then it has another exhaust fan that I have mounted to the wall.
Now's where we get a little tricky with these thinner layers.
Yeah.
So Ed made a comment that like, I'm guessing that so the diode beat the CO2. So I don't know.
No.
I don't know when Patrick started.
No, mine is only 7 inches. There's no way that the diode beats the CO2. Mine was only 7. You'll see it now in the detail one. But I started before Patrick did, and his is more than 3 times the size.
And I cut 2 layers in one pass at once there. Now this
2
time
passes?
I'm going to, no, just 2 at once, 1 pass.
Oh, you did 2 layers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did the first 2 layers. Now this time I'm going to do 1 layer at a time so I can pull the board out, pop that layer out, and then put it back in, because with these fragile layers, I don't want both layers trying to fall through at the same time while I'm trying to take it out. So I'm just going to do one, then the other.
Right. Carl, as many CFMs as you can get. So,
and what
in my other shop, I have, I think it's 1,000 or 1,400 CFMs. I can't remember what. It's an actual air handler. But in this shop, I have a 500 CFM exhaust that goes out the back, and that works just fine. You know, as much as you can get is what I suggest.
I'm not real sure what Ed's referring to. He thought this was a family channel. What did we do? Who said what?
Somebody was talking about you can curse after 45 minutes earlier in a live stream. I don't think it's appropriate to curse in any videos though. Live stream, regular video, whatever.
Not for the purpose just to be doing it.
In fact, it even bothers me watching movies today because, you know, every other word in a movie seems to be a curse word nowadays. I think it's become part of the culture that you know, everybody curses now. So while this is running, I'm going to share my screen again, and let me show you. So this is the cardboard one that I did here, and I also wanted to show you a couple other things. The desktop one I couldn't get a good picture of, but these are a couple pictures of the desktop version, which is 7 inches wide. And there's a close-up. I used all glitter paint on the desktop version. Came out really nice. It does not have a final coat on it yet. And I wanted to just show you the, oh, that's my license plate. That's not the one. That's an upcoming project. This is the G-Wick doing the cardboard, as you can see. So that's one of the videos. And then I've got another one where it's actually doing the stars, the second layer over here. And being that I already brought that video up, this is a license plate that I made for my truck. And there you can see on the truck, this is made out of acrylic, and the yellow acrylic over here in the middle, that is an inlay. And I did the inlay 0.25 larger than the cutout. So it's black acrylic is the cutout, yellow is the inlay, and I did it 0.25 because on the diode, this was also done on the Roly, by the way. On the diode laser, it does a lot of melting, so you need to have a much bigger. Normally, it's a 0.55 kerf that I put on the Roly. This one, it had to be 0.25. Oh no, it was actually 2.5 kerf. Yeah, because it took away so much material. And I believe on this one, I was showing you how I put it in, and it didn't fit into it. That's as far as I could push it into the slots, and you'll see that I just take my hammer here, hammer it the rest of the way in, but it did come out really nice. That's it on the truck right there.
Yeah,
So
that looks great.
that is my license plate. That's a video that's coming up, and I have a couple videos coming up. It's going to be Lightburn version 1.4, some of the new features in 1.4, and then I'm also going to have a video on that license plate coming up. Steve's got a couple of videos coming up too.
Yeah, and Army Dogs mentioned that talking about cursing, since she's been cursing during the spins at the end of each live stream. Well, there's no reason to be cursing in this one because everybody has going to be getting this file for free.
That's right, Harry. Everybody gets it this time.
Yep, Harry didn't know if Harry was a Harry or a Mary. So sorry, Harry, when I said he or she. But since you brought up the your license plate there and other projects, and I mentioned earlier that for those who are not interested in the U.S. Constitution project here, I have on my website, Hobo with Wood, a sign, a welcome sign that is going to be next week's video for my YouTube channel. And that sign is actually this, and it's set up so that showing you how to do the 3 layers, the offsets, welding everything together. The video is an in-depth detail, but the file is free on Hobo with Wood for the next, I think, next week or so.
And let me tell you, if you're a crafter, if you have a craft booth, people love this kind of stuff right here.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it.
This was designed to be part of. I was commissioned to make a door hanger and a Highland cow, and I made it in 2 parts there, so that there's a welcome sign that goes with it. But this design process is the next YouTube video and the free file that's on Hobo with Wood. No coupons needed, nothing like that. Just go on hobowithwood.com and you'll see that project.
And that address is right below, scrolling on the screen, just in case you didn't hear him. Easy enough to remember.
Or understand me.
Yeah, and also don't forget Steve's YouTube channel, youtube.com/@hobowithwood. That's also on the bottom of the screen. We all have YouTube channels. If you're new here and you don't know us, if this is your first time here, all 3 of us have YouTube channels, and we hope that you'll subscribe to all of them. And by the way, please like and subscribe this video. We really need those likes and the subscriptions. We're very close to getting monetized, and we don't have to bang you over the head for donations. So like and subscribe.
There are 5 new files on Hobo this week from last week. So if you haven't been there since 2 weeks ago, if you haven't been there in 2 weeks, there's 5 new projects on Hobo with Wood. This is one of them. Now this is a design that was sent to me from Steve, one of my patrons and a regular supporter here on LMR. This is a spin on his file, and it's a floating frame with a nice stand to it, and this frame is for sale on Hobo with Wood, minus the artwork. The artwork's not included. But that one's for sale. The welcome sign is for free.
So
go ahead.
This, folks, is the reason why I love the Roly.
And the fact you picked that up off the bed, Rich. You picked that up off the Roly and laid it back down, and you didn't have to use the camera. You didn't have to frame.
Yes.
You just laid it right back down and went right back to cutting. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's where when I talk about precision, this is the reason why I love this machine. Because all I did was I went to my library, I picked this particular size wood, and I put it on cut, and this is what comes out every time. Not just this one time. That's why I'm doing this live, so you can see every time. That's what comes out.
Be
Now,
sure
I do
to
have to
check
make
out
a little noise here.
my latest video.
And here's another thing real quick before you do that, Patrick. This little
All right.
vacuum that I got on Amazon is amazing. So I'm going to make a little noise here. Sorry.
So this file is available for free. It's linked in my latest video, the 3D engraving tutorial. And it comes in as a grayscale. So if you have a fiber laser, you can watch my tutorial and get started with some 3D engraving. Another thing is that it also comes in STL for CNC and an SVG overlay. So you get all those files in a file pack from Patriot Nation Designs again. And here's the coin round. Let me cover my face.
There you go.
But in my 3D engraving tutorial, I will teach you the settings and or what to look for with your laser. So you can go from a coin blank that looks like this.
You're all garbled.
Change hands.
Oh, sorry. A coin blank that looks like this as soon as I cover my face. All right, so it's this and that thick.
Is that brass?
Yes. And within 1 hour, I ended up with a coin that now looks like this.
That is
Let me get
awesome.
focus.
There you go.
Engraved and cut with a fiber laser in 1 hour.
Hang on 1 second, Patrick. Let me put you in on bigger screen. That is awesome.
From this to that
In an hour.
in 1 hour. And I also cut it out. So I engraved it that deep, cut it out, and it's a very nice detailed little bear.
Really nice.
But anyway, free file on there. And then my next upcoming video is going to be a photo engraving tutorial. I'm going to piggyback off of Rich's video that just came out. And at the beginning of his video, he said that he wasn't going to get into spot size and a bunch of the other more technical stuff. That's where I'm heading. I'm bringing my microscope back out again and going to be working on teaching you how to get your laser to engrave a picture like this. Let's see, get it in the light. There we go.
Those look like honest photographs.
So I'll teach you how to get your laser to do a picture like that.
How long did that take?
It was about 10 minutes on the fiber laser.
By the way, that is a completely different process than what I was showing you in my last video on photos.
And then here's one that Rich likes. This was just a picture that was on the internet.
Oh, how did my truck get on there?
Cover my face.
Hang on 1 second. Let me get that picture off the screen there. Sorry about that. Jerry Springer.
So that's that'll be my next projects.
Yeah, and folks, that is a completely different process than what I did in my last video. In my last video, I was talking about doing photographs on wood, all different types of materials, but more specifically on a CO2 or a diode laser. So working with the fiber laser is a completely different process, and nothing that I said in that video applies to that. So it's completely different. Cool. David says that he uses my library, and that happens every time. Thanks, David. It works for me too.
Oh, layer 3's done.
So Patrick, he's saying, what fiber laser do you recommend? I would say that I would recommend any fiber laser that has a JPT source. Patrick's got an opinion on that too.
Well, let me come back here. Full disclosure, I do training for NOAA Laser, and if somebody ends up, I refer them to buy a laser, I do get a small commission from it. But that being said, if I wasn't doing the training and commission, I would still end up with one of these. They're Smart 2 models. The Z is motorized, so your Z goes up and down with a press of a button, just like this. You can see it right there, up and down. It also spins 90 degrees to the side, so if you need more area, you can work off the side of your laser. It's just a nice little desktop package, and they have 2 different size towers that come with them now. And let me see, let me just spin that. So they have 2 different size towers that come with these. And then, like I said, this spins back and off to the side, so you can have extra height. Comes with a rotary, a couple lenses, and they're pretty reasonably priced. They include the tariff into the price, so you place your order within a week. It's built. It ships UPS, International Express. You'll have it in. It took 3 days to get from China to me for this one that I just got 2 weeks ago. There's an unboxing video on my channel. Check it out, and then
What do they cost?
Everything that comes in a box.
Somebody's asking about the cost.
I have a price sheet. I'll have to double check the price sheet. This is an 80-watt C-Series MOPA. The C-Series JPT sources are not made in China, so they have to import them into China, put it together, and then export it back out. So you're getting hit with kind of double tariff fees.
But on average, is that $1,000 or a $2,000?
You could probably get into a 30-watt Raycus for maybe 2 to 3, somewhere in there. But I would go with the JPT 50-watt minimum. Yeah. Just like Rich said, go with the JPT. The Raycus
look for those initials, JPT.
If you want to stay on the budget side, the Raycus 50-watt, I've had this one since August. I've been using it exclusively since August. I sold my JPT 50-watt, and it's done a fine job. Yeah. So if you're just starting out and on a budget, it's a perfectly good machine. They've improved their beam quality over the last couple of years. They're not having the issues that they used to. So there's no problem with the Raycus. If you want the extra frequency range, then a JPT 50-watt. If you want to get into a more advanced version, then you want a JPT MOPA, so you're going to be in the 60-watt to 100-watt range.
So Ed's
a MOPA is a fiber laser.
Yeah.
MOPA is a type of fiber laser. It's all in how the laser is turned on and off. Jack 300 lens. I have a 400 millimeter lens for this. And I'm going to start testing with the 400 millimeter lens soon. A 16 by 16 work area on this thing is huge.
Right. It is. Yeah. That's really large.
Here, I'll show you something interesting. This is my focal stick for the 400 millimeter lens. This is my focal stick for the 200 millimeter lens. And let's see. This is my focal stick for the 110 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
So you can see how much height is required as you increase your field size. You've got to have that lens higher up off your work surface. But yeah, look, it won't even fit in the frame of the camera.
So the price keeps coming up, Patrick. Is there any way you can take a quick look and see?
Yep, I can do that. I'll stop talking, go switch the board out or the layer out, and I'll look that up.
Jack in the shop mentions that he uses a digital measuring device. Now, is that's not going to require all that. How does that work? Of a laser beam that measures, via sonar or radar, or
probably like a caliper, but just bigger.
Okay, so it's still going to be physically as big.
Well, think of it like the digital tape measures. You know how you bounce a beam and then it measures that way.
Yeah, so it's not physically that tall. It's just a piece that measures. Yeah.
Yep,
That
I'm
seems-
going to
that
look
seems
into
like-
those, Jack. Maybe you
that
can
seems
send me
like
the
that
link
would-
for that.
That would definitely be the way to go. Seems like
But
it'd be a
I
whole
like,
lot more accurate.
Good morning,
well,
Ian. Glad
I
to
like
see
my
you.
3D printed focal sticks. I glue them together or use screws to hold them together, and they work just fine.
Yeah. I actually use the red dot lasers. I just converge the dots. Sometimes I use the one that Patrick made me one, a nice one. Sometimes I use that one.
Wow, Jack says they're only $13.
That's
Oh,
pretty
that's
cheap.
cheap enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's stuck. See, this is why you only do one at a time.
yeah.
I do them two at a time on the Roly. Well, and that's not saying that Patrick may have had like a little warp in the material. There could have been an anomaly. There could have been a place where there was a little bit more glue than other places. But that's why I spent so much time on my 10-watt library, was because I compensated for all of that in my library. So I've had a couple of comments where people have said to me, "Hey, I've got your 10-watt library. I can cut much faster than what you put for 3mm plywood." Yeah, you can, but you will wind up with an anomaly here or there that I've already accounted for in the 10-watt library. And to save, maybe 2 or 3 minutes in time versus ruining a project when you take it out from the bed, I think it's worth that little extra bit of time.
The problem with this one was it twisted, so half was up and half was down, and you had to line it up perfectly to get it to pop through.
Another problem that you can have too is the moisture content. As the laser is cutting, if you have a moist piece of wood, it can actually warp that wood as it's cutting, and that wood will like rise up on the bed.
You mentioned before going live, you had a piece of wood laying on the machine and it warped just sitting there. And how long did it take? How long did that take before you noticed that? How many minutes?
I guess it was about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
It warped just sitting there on the bed.
yeah.
Kate is asking how much is the Roly going for. It is right now out of stock. It should be back in stock today or tomorrow. It is normally $999, and Leo has added a coupon on Amazon to make it $899. So it's probably the best value that you can get for a 10-watt diode laser for what it is.
Yeah, for the life of me, I don't even know why he's discounting it. At $9.99,
I don't know either.
It's a deal at $9.99.
Yeah, I don't know why either. So there is no substitute. Says it's like a laser Bible, can't go wrong. Yeah, and it's getting better. So version 2 is better than version 1. Now I'm working on version 3, and if you want to buy that library, it is at engraveandcutfiles.com, all spelled out. You can buy it there, and you'll get free upgrades. It'll be in your account forever, or for 1 year, I'm sorry. And by the end of the year, I'll be at version 4. So version 3 should be up there shortly, probably within the next week. That should be finished, and that's going to include a lot more photographs. And by the end of the year, there'll be a 4th version. That came out cool. That's aluminum, right?
Nope, that's steel. I just
Oh,
did
it's
that
steel?
on the fiber
That's
laser while we were waiting here.
That's really cool.
So you can use this file on any laser. You just manipulate it a little bit, and you can do whatever you want.
Okay, so I have layer 3 is now finished on the Roly, and it's moving on to layer. You can see layer 3 is finished. Working on layer 4. Excuse me. And layer 4 is the worst one of all, because that's the one that Patrick was showing earlier, and that's the one that you just can't do it wrong. If you do that one wrong, if you don't have the right settings, it is not going to come out right. Can you do tumblers on a Roly? Yeah, sure. I did them in my review video. In fact, I did a couple of tumblers in the review video. They have a precision rotary accessory. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
No, I was just turning it off. To you go ahead. But didn't you say that is the new version already got the updated rotary, or is there? Are
No, they're working on a Chuck style rotary. I don't know when that's going to be out. I'm thinking that it's going to be sometime over the summer. I'm not sure, but they already have a new rotary version that's coming out with the new machine, and the Chuck style should be out shortly as well.
Okay,
So,
don't hold me to these prices, okay? Because this is everything's subject to change. But I'm going to give you a rough estimate. A 50-watt rake is shipped to the door. Let's see, which includes, I think, one lens, and it includes Lightburn license and an hour of one-on-one training. Is going to run about roughly around $4, but that's prices have changed. They're running the sale, so that's negotiable. They normally include a rotary in that price. 50-watt JPT is roughly around $5. A 60-watt MOPA is around $6.
there you go.
But like I said, those are subject to change, but that's all inclusive, so you're not going to get hit with additional tax or anything when it hits the country. It's already taken care of.
Right. And for those that were had any questions on the GWIC 50 Cloud Desktop CO2, that one comes in right about $3,000. I have a coupon code, LA Hobby Guy, if you go to gwic.com, where you can get a couple $100 off. That'll help you with the shipping on that.
Oh.
I didn't know if you were going to click on it or not, so I did, Steve.
Yeah. And Jack brings up a good point.
I also have a Noah Laser 1,000 watt 3-in-1 laser cleaner welder cutter.
Yeah, that thing's a beast.
Setting here, and I'm going to be doing videos on that thing pretty soon. And they also make, I have the CO2 galvo of theirs behind me, and I'm running the CO2 gantry from Noah Laser right now.
So Ed's asking if they're all in the same store. Yeah, they're all Noah Laser.
Yeah, it's all the same manufacturer.
Yeah.
They don't just put them together. Of course, there are pre-assembled pieces and pieces for other makers, but they have a factory where they make a lot of these pieces themselves. It's huge. I'm going to go visit it one day.
So here you can see that the CO2 is much faster because Patrick took all of that setup time in between pieces, and he's almost finished. Well, mine's almost finished as well, but it's on the very last pass, which is just the outline and the words. No, the words are done. Let me see which pass I'm on. That top one is, the top one is the one with all the detail, all the trees and everything else. So Patrick is going to be finished way before I am on the diode. In fact, I'll be lucky if this finishes by the time we're done with this stream. I actually know that it won't. Mine won't finish by the end of the stream. But just to show you again, these are the first two pieces. Let me switch cameras here. These are the first two pieces that were cut out. You could see that that's pretty detailed. You can see the trees in there. And everything just drops right out. I can just lift the wood off the bed and get a perfect cut. Again, using my library and the Roly laser. Now, I've got 3 layers done now, but the 4th layer will not finish by the time we end this stream. So, but it's working as hard as it can. It will be finished right after we end the stream, and you can see what you can do with a Roly machine. I hate for this to be an advertisement, but I just love this machine so much. And by the way, there's no coupon code or anything like that from me. I'm just saying go to Amazon and buy it on Amazon.
So I did a video a few days ago with the paper tea lights, and David Chadwick was commenting about he's going to be using those at his daughter's wedding. David, something that I failed to mention in that video that really adds some character to those tea lights, and I don't know what the proper term is for this stuff, but that real thin translucent plastic you can cut out with scissors that light emits through. Man, you just cut that out and glue that on the inside of those tea lights and add some color behind the tea light, and that really makes those things pop and jump and look nice too.
Is it time to give them that coupon code yet?
I have it scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, you do? All right. I didn't know if we got it up there yet. Awesome. Just making sure.
There's only one Roly. It's the Roly LaserMATIC 10. Now, right now, I believe on Amazon, the only one available is the base model without the enclosure and the honeycomb bed. But if you wait till tomorrow or the next day, they should be back in stock. Finishing up our shop and cannot wait to get it in. Oh, okay. So many new files. What are your thoughts on Air Assist upgrade for a 100 watt omtech? Is it worth it? Air Assist upgrades are always worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking into after my past experiences this week.
You can't go wrong with a quiet compressor.
Yes.
Actual air compressor.
I have a California Air Tools compressor, and you wouldn't even hear it if I turned it on right now.
Well, that's what I'm using right now, California Air Tools, and it's sitting right over that way in the garage. And I guess where I moved it off to the corner, you can't even hear it.
Okay, so where do you go to get the file? It's right on the bottom of the screen, and there's a link in the comments. So you can just click the link in the comments that we just put there, or you can just go to patriotnationdesign.com and search for We the People 4-Layered Eagle. Use the coupon code LightSource Engraving. Don't forget that there's 2 E's there in that coupon code. And that coupon code is also in the comments too, by the way. Yes, our pleasure, Robert. That's what we're here for. Thank you for the comment. Oh yeah, Harry, how was that honor flight? That was awesome. That was a week ago, huh? So in the comments, there's a link to Patrick's file, Patrick's video on the wavy flag.
And Patrick, looking at your file or your wood on your laser makes me just smack myself in the forehead, because I did not even think to orient my images just like that.
Oh, so you can fit 2 on one like that?
Yeah, I had them stacked as close as I could without rotating it, and sometimes most obvious things just don't. Yeah, I don't see it.
With the 12-inch version that I did before, the one that's painted, I could fit all 4 of them on there.
Yeah.
Orienting them like that.
And that's the kind of things that people comment on my videos like, oh, I didn't think about that. Well, nobody even talked about the orientation of but yeah, that's slick. I will be doing that on my future creations of this file.
Thank goodness. That one popped out just no problem. There we go.
Nesting is everything. I agree.
Yeah. I'm usually really good at it. That was an obvious one I didn't even think of.
Yeah, and we were just having this conversation, Steve, about what to do. We're going to have so many little projects that we can make with the so-called waste from these files that we're cutting today.
Yep. Yeah. And V brings up a good point, and I this is something I can talk about all the time is when you're working with multiple pieces of wood, making sure you got that grain
Absolutely.
orientation
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
And
And it's
when
not only wood though, because if you're working with slate or leather or anything else, you got to make sure that the grain is the right way on every piece. Yeah. So let's see. Here is the some of the waste, just to give you an idea. So from this file, the desktop version that I did, okay, um, you can see that yeah, I had a lot of waste. But the thing is that all of this wood over here can be used for other projects. Everything that you see here can be used for earrings, can be used for smaller projects. So, you know, don't waste your wood. And with this particular file that I'm cutting right now, look at all the wood that's down here on the bottom. I mean, there's plenty of wood down here. So you know, you can do, I have a big waste pile over there that I call a waste pile. Really, it's just a future project pile. And Patrick is finished. And as you can tell, let me go back to the Roly on mine, still cutting.
All 4 layers are done.
I don't know why your connection always stutters when you do something zoomed in like that.
It's because I started Lightburn and
Oh,
I
computer.
have the Lightburn camera plugged in, and I forgot to turn it off. So sometimes the USB stutters, even with them directly plugged into the motherboard.
Okay, so I was saying that I'm not going to finish this by the end of the stream, but you guys have any objection to going a couple extra minutes?
Nope.
Yeah.
Is that a yes or no?
Yeah, no,
No objections.
Yep. No
I'm getting close to the. It looks like I'm getting close to the end. Yeah, there's not much time left here, so maybe we should just wait an extra minute or two, and I can show you how this comes out. But this is where this particular file is where I was talking about earlier. Doing it at such a small size, what I have here, this desktop version, if you're going to do a desktop version, you better have the right laser and you better have the right cuts. So what I suggest that you do is ungroup this and see the trees. So first off, duplicate the layer, ungroup it, and just grab a couple of those trees, the smallest ones, and cut those out of some scrap wood that you're about to use. And if you do that, and those cutouts come out perfectly, and I'll do like 3 or 4 or 5 different cutouts of it in different places, just to make sure, because you want to make sure that you can lift this piece out when it's done. This piece is going to be especially hard for you to lift out of a laser, because at this size that I'm doing, and if you're going to resize, you got to select all, resize them all together. But this size that I'm doing here is going to be especially hard because it's only going to be 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, the framing going around the outside. It's getting to the end of it right now. So you'll be able to see live how I can just pull this off the laser. And how much extra time really did this take? Not a whole lot. Let's see, it looks like I've got probably about 4 or 5 minutes left, I would guess, somewhere in that area, I think.
All right, so we got a question from Larry Mitchell. Do you guys store your wood both unused and waste on flat or on edge? I store all mine flat. How about you guys? Do you store your
Flat?
Patrick? You flat?
Flat.
Yeah. I find that storing it flat, and then also that's just better. But the weight of any of the wood piled helps just keep everything, flat.
Yep, that's right. And also another trick to do is, everybody's got a set of weights that they used once or twice in their garage.
No, little dumbbell.
Yep.
If you go and get some of those weights and put them on top, that helps as well. Just keep in mind that the wood is going to it's going to acclimate to the atmosphere that you're in. So the minute that you take the top piece off, the piece that's underneath it is going to start to acclimate to the atmosphere because it's been acclimated to the piece that was on top of it and the piece that was below it. So the minute that you take it out, you should put it on the laser. And then I never take from the top. I always take the second one or third one down, or I pull a couple out of the middle, and then I put those back on top, and I put my weight back on top of that.
And Bob, if you look right below your comment right now in all capital letters, there's the coupon. That scroll running across the bottom.
I posted it a couple times.
Yeah, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, guys. Light Source Engraving. And don't forget the 2 E's. I didn't put the 2 E's in when I did it, and it didn't work. So you could just copy it from the post in the comments.
And Oily Crafter, the desktop version is just a smaller, scaled down version of the same file. And Rich made a stand, created a stand himself that he's mounted it to, which I think is really nice. It's not really hard to create those stands, 3 layers and slots, and you're ready to go.
It took less than 5 minutes to make the stand. And let's see where I'm at over here. I'm getting pretty close. It's doing a little more tree cutouts. I'd say I'm just a couple minutes off from the final product here. Yeah, it's getting pretty close. Cutting out the final letters now, and then it's going to go and finish up the outer cut. But I got to tell you though, if your focus is not perfect, and if your honeycomb is not perfectly flat, and if your wood is not perfectly flat, and if you haven't done your test cuts, do not resize this file smaller.
So the comment, the viewers are having a conversation regarding the grain orientation between them, about which way they do it, top to bottom, left to right, and V brought up in a comment, it says it depends on every project. Usually he does his vertical, but I found when I did this file, on one of the pieces of material I used, I had the grain oriented in such a manner that the tail on the wing of the bird on the second layer with the stars and bars, everything was extremely fragile because the grains were running this way, and it was wanting to snap. So that would have been better oriented in the other direction. So, and since these are painted up so well and covered and sealed, you can't see the grain no way.
Yes. And by the way, I didn't use any glue on mine. So I don't know if you guys do this or not, but I used just the paint. I assembled it while the paint was drying. I did put glue in on the stand though. So I did fill the slot with glue.
I put mine together wet, but then there's a couple spots where it was still like wanted to pull up at the end. So I just added a couple dots of super glue.
Yeah.
And that took care of that.
Yeah, but typically when I do something like this, I try and assemble it while the paint is drying. And, using the paint as your glue is always a good idea, in my opinion, anyway, because it, you know how it is. You can't get the paint off of wood.
Yeah.
And it does a really good job. And let me just show you one more time the cardboard one for those who hadn't seen it. That is the cardboard one, the one that I made out of cardboard.
And I struggled with this so much and played with a couple of ideas. I created my own version of this. And Patrick brought up the idea, or made the comment. He said, man, he wants it because he's in West Virginia. and
Yeah.
up in the mountains. And so this one that you're getting for free is got that solid background. Let's see here. Share screen, window. Here we go. Share. So here's my version. How do you make that bigger, Rich? There you go. And I did just a mountain silhouette showing more of the flag
That's
in the
beautiful.
background and the trees.
Beautiful. That came
So-
out, and more detail in the stripes.
That's on Hobo with Wood. That one is not free. That is on hobowithwood.com if you wanted to get that one instead of the version that we've got.
And don't forget, folks, that you can change this all you want. I changed the letters where the E is now attached, and the little hyphen below it is attached as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because we didn't mention that there are three separate pieces or three loose pieces in that top layer. That's unaltered, and that's a little tedious if you got little short, fat, stubby fingers.
yeah, you can say that again. I had a problem with the first one that I did, which
I gotta
is
buy
my
me some.
desktop version.
I gotta buy me some tweezers.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, here's the E. You can see how, even on this larger version, it's still pretty small.
Well,
Let's see, let me bring it here. So here's the We the People. And then here's the E that heads right here.
You're covering your mic.
Oh,
There you
sorry.
go.
So there's the E. There's the We the People.
Yeah, and
So
then there's
that little E right there.
little tilde thing below it too, below the people.
Yep, I didn't grab those. They fell out.
Yeah. Yeah, I went ahead and attached them. Don't forget, folks, you can edit this file any way that you want. You could just go into the node editing and change things around. That's all I did. And let me see where I'm at here.
For
Okay,
this
so
one,
I am almost completely done. Hang on.
I added a little hanger on this version I did on the acrylic.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me cover my face. And so now I can hang it up and have a little sun catcher.
Oh, that would be cool to put on a little suction cup on the window.
Yeah,
Very nice.
that was the idea.
So Ian's saying that he might have to sell his laser to get some money toward it, Roly. Let me tell you, folks, it would be the best investment that you made if you're into diode lasers.
thank you. And if you're the detail in those trees, I got that from using my acrylic paint pens. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but those are look like the branches in the trees.
Yeah, those paint pens are incredible. I use either magic markers or paint pens. The one that I did on the back wall here is magic marker.
It was all I could do to spray paint this. You know my thoughts on painting, so that's just a spray paint line right there. Just kind of held a piece of cardboard over it and
yeah,
and created that line and the separation in the red and blue.
And no, Kate, it's been raining, but no storms. Thank you, Christina. I can order standardized.
Not quite sure what that means.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Yeah. That would be cool. A lithograph. Yeah.
Yep. I'm in Harrison County, West Virginia, near Clarksburg. Born and raised, went to WVU.
I'm selling my Atezr 20 watt now that I have my Roly. I feel the same way. I like the Atezr, the 20 watt Atezr for sure. But, with this Roly, I just get incredible results. So I am coming down to, let's see, where are we at in the stream? 9 minutes late. So I'm coming down to the last cut right now. It's just finishing up, and we've just delayed the end of the stream today to show you the results on the diode, and you know, we're almost done now. I think it is pretty close. I've been saying that, haven't I? It
Most
sure
of my
looks like
wife's
it's close
family
anyway. You
lives
know
in
what? I get the
Doddridge County.
reflection. I get the reflection from the laser beam, so I can't really see what it's doing.
And I had to get up and look out the window because Jack in the shop mentioned that the sun's out now. And I'm looking at, I don't see no sun. Jack, I got one huge gray cloud, and it's just right over my place, and I see blue skies where you're at. It's one big cloud. You look out, that's where I'm at, buddy.
I hope it's not raining outside here. I got to go outside and test a shotgun here after we're done.
Well, I just realized that Lightburn is doing some of its weird cuts here. So it's now come back. It's coming back to do the outer pass on the bottom one. So this is going to take a little longer than I thought. What do I have left here? I have the whole outer pass on the bottom one. It's about a quarter of the way through now. No, maybe not even. And then it's got about 6 inches of outer pass on the top one.
Whew. Yeah, Kate's in Fayetteville. Jack turns out to be my neighbor. He's only a few miles away. In fact, Jack, when we wrap this up, I'm going for Mexican at Azteca on Garrison. If you want to meet up for a margarita after this week, I'm treating myself to margaritas.
Well, I'm going to say that you know this has probably got another 10 or 15 minutes before it's finished. So it's really not important that we wait for that one. I mean, you guys already saw the detail, you know, in this one here. So, and you've seen the finished product. I've already done 3 of these and haven't had a single issue with any of the 3. So I'm going to say if there are no more questions, 7:38 a.m. Monday morning here in New Zealand. Well, 24 and not even 24 hours. It'll be my birthday, so May 2nd. Friday is Cinco de Mayo. Yes, it is. And I think I'm going to make a trip. My sister is supposed to be watching today. I don't know if she is or not. We're going to find out in a minute. But I think maybe Wednesday I'm going to make a trip to South Florida and go visit her. So if she's watching, then she'll know I'm coming. If she's not, then she won't know I'm coming. So, so I think as my own birthday present, I'm going to make a little trip to Florida and visit my sister and a couple of the subscribers to my channel, and maybe make a weekend out of it and come back on Monday. So I think we're going to wrap up today. You guys agree? It does no need to wait for the last 2 layers to finish up.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, so if there's any other questions, I would say ask them now, right now in the comments. And if not, we'll give it another minute or so and make sure. You're welcome, Larry. Thank you for watching today. And we will be posting the replay. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this project running. Let's see, can I do that? No, I can't. Once I end the live stream, that's the end of it. I'll do a. Oh, it doesn't really matter. You've seen the final product. This is the final product at that size right there. I think it came out really nice, and I think everybody is a better artist than I am. So everybody else's paint jobs came out much better than mine. So if you're planning on doing these and you're rewatch the video looking for color suggestions, take a look at Steve's, take a look at Patrick's, because both of them absolutely.
That green and yellow never would have been in my wheelhouse. I never would have thought of that. But Patrick, that is gorgeous.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
So again, before we go, if you guys enjoyed the stream and you enjoy the fact that we're bringing you, free files every other week and sometimes in between, you can go to paypal.me/LMR donations and make a donations. All of that money goes directly to the guys for their supplies, and it makes this channel possible. So even if it's a dollar or two, every dollar counts. And yeah, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to say that's it. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today and for watching. And don't forget to get your free file. I'm going to put a link in the description of the video when we're done. Look for a pinned comment. That will be a link directly to the file itself. And I'll also put the coupon code in there in case any of you missed it. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I thought it was a great stream today. A lot of good comments, a lot of good questions. I really appreciate everybody being here. Steve, say goodbye.
I'm going to get a margarita.
Steve's going for margarita. Patrick is saying
Bye.
goodbye with.
I'm just
Bye,
glad.
little.
I'm glad this week is over. Hey, before we go,
Yeah.
2 Sundays from now is Mother's Day. Are we going to do a Mother's Day live stream?
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to do a Mother's Day live stream because I don't think anyone's going to be here.
That's
So,
what my thoughts were. So yeah,
yeah,
guys.
we'll rearrange our schedule. The next live stream is going to be 3 Sundays from now. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you in the next one.
Pew, pew. We're out.
Hang on,
Thank you, everyone.
Hold up. I'm not saying goodbye yet because it fooled me.
Oh, he's done.
Hang on 1 second. The laser fooled me. Let me go over. It's finished. Let's see what happens. I am pretty confident that it's going to lift right out. And there it is. So now we've got that. And this is the worst of all. And I know I'm probably blocking the camera right now.
Don't break it.
So all I'd have to do is hit it with my finger a couple of times like that. And look at what we've got.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely perfect. Now, here comes the worst one of all. This one is, on most lasers, going to be a nightmare. And I've got to be very, very careful the way that I handle this because I will break it if I don't handle it just perfectly. And you got to remember that the wood has to be able to drop out. So that's the whole key here, is getting the wood to, getting these letters to pop out. If I just tap it a couple of times, that might help, but you'll see just how fragile this piece is, and you have to take it off all in one direction. I don't know if I'm getting in the camera here. Am I in the camera?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing so I don't break it. If you do it a different way, you're not going to get it all in one direction. So this is the key right here. Everything has to come out in the same direction, like that. Now, this one is very hard to handle. It's very, very fragile, especially at this size. So you've got to be really careful, and you will break this if you don't handle it properly. So the wood has to come out evenly, and there it is. This little tiny piece came out perfectly on the Roly, and every single layer came out perfectly. I don't think there's really another diode laser that can do this kind of a job with that kind of a cut. Just an absolute beautiful job on this. So it fooled me. So how much extra time did that actually take, Patrick? It wasn't a whole lot. I mean, maybe 25 minutes more than what it took you, something like that.
I have no clue.
Yeah, maybe 25 or 30 minutes longer, but I was able to cut this in a 7.5 inch size on the diode laser. So there you go. Finished.
Let's see.
Thank
I
you all
think
for being here.
Mine was 16 inches.
16 inches. And just again, to show you again, look
Thomas,
at that.
Thomas is asking what size wood is it, 3 millimeter?
Yes, this is 3 millimeter. It's 3 millimeter nominal. The wood size when I did the slot was 2.94. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jack,
Okay, everybody.
I think I said Azteca restaurant. Jack, I'm going to Taxco if you want to meet for margaritas at Taxco.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in 3 weeks. Three weeks.
Adios, guys.